On Second Shot, we tackle 2 new headlines every week to find out what kind of wisdom the world is dishing out today. And we want you to be a part of that. When you see a headline you want to take a second shot at, or if you're looking for advice, or just want to tell us what you think of the show, email us at secondshotcast@gmail.com. If you like what you hear, rate us on iTunes. This helps us move up in the ratings so more people will see us. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the show so that the new episodes will get straight to you every single Friday. We love you. Thanks for listening and enjoy.
Heath Oaks is a millennial mogul whose ignorance on fire led him to fail his way to success. Jenny Anchondo is an Emmy award-winning journalist whose sharp eye and biting wit have led to her storied career in television. Together, they tackle today's headlines in a way only an odd couple with a dash of perfect opposite can. So kick back, relax, and join the conversation. This is Second Shot with your hosts, Heath and Jenny.
So I was honestly thinking that, in a couple years, my daughter would really start testing my patience, but she's already really starting to ramp that up. She is really starting to become, her own self, so being very stubborn and very wanting, to change clothes when she wants to, or what, and throwing the fits with it, and it's like,
oh my God! Can we just talk about this the whole segment? I want to know everything.
You guys, she's getting close to 2. That's what my mom reminded me on the phone this week. She said, Jenny, she's getting close to 2. She's asserting her independence. She's becoming her own person. So this is when you have to be really clear on what your rules are, what your standards are, and so that you can be consistent with them. Yeah. So that's something Heath and I are going to have to figure out because she is wild.
So that's why they call them the terrible twos. Wild about what? What's the hang up?
Like she wants to go outside when it's time to get dressed and go do something else. Like she just wants to do what she wants to do. She wants to put her baby's
and she
stroller,
will throw a fit if you don't. If she can't, you're trying to make her do something else.
Her big thing is putting her baby's stroller onto the trampoline, and like you can't jump with the stroller on the trampoline. Like it's not ideal.
Right. Don't do that at home.
She also tries to escape out the front door.
Oh wow.
If she doesn't want to leave the playground, she starfishes, which means both arms out, both legs out, flat on the ground.
Yeah, kicking, screaming.
So
we've been having to have some serious talks.
Ooh. So this is, or at least according to my mom, she's like, this is when you have to decide, like, what is your form of not punishment, but just like discipline. What are you going to do? How is everybody, your nanny, your husband, everybody going to work together to, give a set of rules for this young and very wild lady?
Very independent.
Oh man,
how do those talks go? I mean, is she receptive pretty quickly, or is it a process every single time?
Well, this morning it was me, Irma, and Heath. Irma's our nanny.
But what I've done so far is just when she's throwing fear doing something, and I'll pick her up and I'll go sit her in a chair and make her. And when I kind of start getting mad at her, she pretty much stops pretty quick. Like she doesn't like that. It
must be nice to be you.
But am I right? I mean, whenever she sees me get
she doesn't do that for me.
She doesn't?
No.
Oh. Well, when I do, she
starfishes.
She starts to she'll start to dry it up some and have those conversations. And sit there and gets kind of right, but it kind of takes that, because it was like this morning I heard Irma, trying to get her to do what she wanted, and she wouldn't. And when I walked in there and went and grabbed her, she stopped and did what wanted to do. So
but she needs to be listening to everybody.
Well, that is true.
She needs to listen to Irma and show respect to her.
Oh man, who knows how to do that? We'll figure that out as we go, I guess.
Oh man, I know. I'm like, but you guys, I'm just gonna say right now, potty training is going exceptionally well.
Yes, it is.
Hey, that's an accomplishment.
Potty everywhere.
That could that could go horribly. So well done.
It's going really well, and I'm sharing the book on my Instagram stories. The book that I followed to sort of make that happen.
She just doesn't like to pull her own pants up.
Well, I mean, that's hard.
Really.
She's 21 months old.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
kind of speaking of babies, I think our first headline kind of gets into a little bit about somebody who had who has a little bit more to deal with than we do with one.
Keep it here on Off Script for more of the parenting stuff, which I love from Heath and Jenny. Yes, baby boom. A Houston woman gives birth to 3 sets of twins in 9 minutes. Quote, "This is miraculous." A Texas woman is doing well after giving birth to 6 babies within 9 minutes of each other at a Houston hospital last week. The mom welcomed 2 sets of twin boys and 1 set of twin girls between 4:50 and 4:59 a.m. on March 15th. The babies were born at weights ranging from 1 pound 12 ounces to 2 pounds 14 ounces, so fairly small. In stable condition, though, and will continue to receive care in the hospital's advanced neonatal intensive care unit. The odds of having sextuplets are estimated at 1 in 4.7 billion. Very small odds.
Oh.
What do we think about this?
I was going to say, I feel like it diminishes it a little bit to say it's 3 sets of twins. That's 6 babies.
Right.
That's 6.
Before I get too far down, this came from Tony on Facebook. I forgot to mention him.
Yeah.
Tony, thank you for the article. Yes, we appreciate it.
Shout out to the Facebook group. I was asking people for article suggestions in the super secret, but you are welcome to join it Facebook group.
Yeah.
Called Second Shot.
It's true. Thanks, Tony. Share your articles on the show, guys. We want to talk about them. Anyway. What do we think about this?
Well, so my initial second shot on this is just that miracles do happen and you have to choose to believe in them. I mean, really it's like you look at life and everything that's happening right now to me is a series of tiny miracles. All of us making it here on time.
Yeah, but let's be real. Can you imagine giving birth to 6 and 9 minutes, just in general?
Just no. Remember, I ended at 1. I stopped at 1.
Yeah.
That was
I'd
my
like
grand
to stop
finale.
Here, please.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
No more.
But I think about the odds on that, and so often we hear about the odds of something, and I'm not advocating gambling, but I'm talking about odds like in terms of deciding that you're going to go after something that seems really, really, really far off. I really like these types of articles, and I like to infuse them into my life because I like to reinforce the idea that miracles happen every day. They happen every single day, and it's very possible that somebody listening, or that me, or that Zach or Matt or Heath would be a part of one of those miracles. And so I think that the way that you bring those to you is to believe that they do happen. So that's one example. I like to read that. I like to embrace that. I like to celebrate, her situation. I like to celebrate that she's the one raising and potty training those 6 children.
Yes.
And that was one of I talked about my affirmation challenge, that blog post I wrote a while back. And one of my affirmations for years was miracles happen every day, because I was somebody who really, and I still, my natural tendency is still to sort of go toward the, well, but what if? Or so I knew that I needed to personally reinforce miracles do happen every day. And so I said that 10 times every single morning for 10 years. And now I feel like I really do believe that.
There's a lot of the old book and the movie The Secret, and there's a lot of people that will say how corny it is that if you if you just see it and think it's going to happen, right? Everybody will make fun. Some people will make fun of that, where I'm one of those firm believers that whether or not, whatever your thoughts are on it, I can tell you this. I 100% believe that if you believe miracles are possible, and if you think and believe that's going to happen, that good things can happen to you, it's a better shot of them happening to you than not.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I'm like, do I think that just believing it makes it happen? No, but I believe that's one of the steps. I believe you've got to.
Right, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah,
I know that, but that's what I envision that being, with pieces of it, with those miracles that a lot of people that are sitting there talking about it being corny. Yeah, I don't think anybody says that's the only thing that happens to make a miracle happen, but you've got to believe first.
Well, I think also it's almost more true that the opposite is true, right? If you always believe that nothing good is going to happen, and you never want to take the opportunities that you're faced with to make something good happen, if you always believe in the negative, then that is much more likely to be true than just something just lightning striking you or whatever.
For sure. What if you got to lose?
Yeah.
And I love this idea of thinking miracles happen and reminding yourself of that, because it doesn't necessarily mean miracles are going to happen to me. It doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to win the lotto tomorrow. But what it means is every day when you wake up, you're waking up in a world where truly incredible things can happen.
Yeah.
They can. And you have to remind yourself of that, because if you think that, maybe you can be the catalyst to make that happen.
So something else with focusing on miraculous things, I think that what we miss sometimes are the smaller miracles too. And I don't want to get into a big faith discussion. We've kind of talked about that. Most of you probably know where I am on that. But so a baby being born, for example, like all of us
It's a
being
miracle.
born, do we take time to appreciate that and think about like, wow,
Yeah.
all the things that have to happen for us to be here, and all the people that struggle to even, you know, that are not able to have children. You know, the fact that we are all here to me is a miracle, and so many things that it's just like, think about the way the human body works. You know, like, what the heck?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, all of these different things that are happening, and I do think that a mindset shift can happen when you start to count. You know, if you're having one of those days where it's like nothing's right, and we all have those days, if you take like the few minutes to think about, okay, well, I'm here, so let's start out with that. 2 feet on the ground. Okay, follow up with that. You know, are you able to, you know, move your limbs? Are you able to speak? You know, and not all of us have those gifts, but what are the gifts that you do have? Do you, you know, can you hear? Can you smell? You know, you have to go really small sometimes to find those miracles. But we're all, you know, a part of them in some way.
Well, and I think about it too on the, you know, when a lot of people ask the question to somebody that is maybe when they're building a business, or maybe they're super successful. There's one question I always ask: do you think it's because your skill, or were you really lucky? Right? It's what you get a lot.
Always.
And here's what I believe is that it takes all of the above. And I believe that the people that believe that the luck and the miracles can happen to them, I believe they've got a better shot of all of that marrying up than you do if you're not. So, I mean, say they're corny, say they're whatever. I'm just telling you, I fully believe you've got a better shot if you believe, and if you are on the quote-unquote corny side of it, than not being. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, it can't hurt. Like, what do you have, like you said a while ago, what do you have to lose by being a little bit more positive and appreciating the small little miracles of how amazing those things are? And I think you're right. I think a lot of times, Jenny, what we do is we really forget the little small things, and we kind of think they are supposed to be
Like it's a given that we would just be
we're
here.
entitled for them, right?
And I think what you say in there that I really like is when you say, like, you've got a better shot. That doesn't mean if you don't believe in this stuff, it's not going to work for you.
Yeah.
You might be surprised. If you're a pessimist out there and you're listening and you're thinking to yourself, no, miracles don't happen, that's all hooey. Keep an eye out. Something might happen to you that you might think is pretty incredible. Yeah, just look
like
around.
The couples counselor that we go to, she was saying, you know, scan for positive.
Yeah.
I was going through a really tough time, and she was like, Jenny, just scan for positive. And I was like, you are so bothering me right now. But I did it. But also, you know, I'm like, hey, I'm paying you for this help, and I know you're right. I know you're right. And for the rest of the week, I really did scan for positive. And sometimes those positives are really small. Sometimes those positives are like, I have hydration, I have water here.
That's hard.
But you have to look for them.
You know,
Yeah.
but like you build, and then at the end of the day, I had so many positives, and so it got my frame of thinking in a like turn in the right direction to be looking for positives, and then, you know, looking for miracles.
And I think if you look at it that way, you'll probably find that the positives far outweigh the negatives. Like
Absolutely.
we put so much emphasis on the few things that go poorly that we don't recognize that, well, everything else in my life is going okay, or at least okay, if not great.
Mm-hmm.
Miracles happen, folks. We'll be back in a minute for the second segment of Second Shot.
He makes up words, she translates them. Heath and Jenny host more of Second Shot, coming up on RNCN.
To all of my friends in the great state of Texas, if you have not taken advantage, I have a way to save you a ton of money. I have saved over about $3,000 in the last year, and I have no hassle. Go to energyogre.com, put in the promo code SECONDSHOT. Now listen, promo code SECONDSHOT, and you're going to get a free month just for signing up and saving a ton of money. So don't be crazy. Stop sitting around talking about, is this the real deal, and go do it right now. energyogre.com, promo code SECONDSHOT, and a free month. Thanks. Go get it now. Run.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
And we're on the point now where we get the timing down, and then Zach doesn't restart the clock this time, and I knew I was going to throw him under the bus for it as soon as I did.
Nah, well done. Yeah, you got me. That's true. Pants down. Thank you for that.
We're trying to be so efficient here. We're trying to be so respectful of people's time. And then the miracle of the clock.
If you can train a nearly 2-year-old to go to the bathroom, there's no reason you can't teach me to stay on top of that clock.
But the times that I was left doing it, I screwed it up too. Yeah. So
hey, it's a hard gig. This
it goes to prove that theory that multitasking. The people that say they can multitask, you really can't. It's hard. Multitasking is you're giving half effort to all the things you're trying to do. What was that you just stuck in your mouth?
That was a cherry.
Horrible.
That was a cherry.
I don't know if
that's
you
one
caught
of
that on
her
camera.
big like smoothie things that she has with all kinds of stuff in it.
It looks
some big
delicious from far away.
Purple blob was coming out.
Yeah,
I didn't know what it was.
So we were running late. There was this construction behind our house. It was a whole thing this morning. So my smoothie didn't get totally blended, but I still wanted to enjoy all the nutrients in it.
That's the way to go.
So I just took the cherry blob from the bottom.
What's going in there? Blueberry, cherry?
Yes, blueberry, cherry. I have a greens powder mix that has dehydrated vegetables. Ooh. I also do a vegan organic protein powder and almond milk today, but I mix it up from day to day.
Smoothie.
Nice. Yeah, Brighton loves them. Smoothie.
She always says smoothie.
Smoothie? Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
And she starfishes if you
don't give her smoothie.
Don't give her smoothie.
I'm going to have to try out this starfish thing. I'm going to have to give this a shot.
When Christine says, hey, we
and you're really tall.
Thank you. Oh, yeah, nobody can move me.
We'll get Brighton on video doing it, and then we'll video you doing a reenactment of it.
I'll do that.
I like that.
Yeah. Zach, it's time to record an episode. No.
That's going to... No.
Yeah, and that's how she does it. Nope.
Drop to the ground and starfish.
She even did at school. She goes to her school one day a week, and her teachers reported back that they were serving strawberries, and Brighton pushed it away very firmly and was like, nope. I was like, this is not good.
No, sir.
I don't know about you, but my friends who have a couple of kids, they'll post like the teacher reports that they get back from preschool, and I find those to be the funniest thing I've ever read. It's just, like, this is what they did today. Here's their grade for today.
We might have to find the strawberry one and post that.
Yeah, those are great.
Brighton's a woman after my own heart. All right, want to succeed at work? Find a work spouse. It's a weird article, but hear me out. While building their business, this is talking about two co-founders. They don't say their last name, but their company is Of a Kind, which was sold to Bed Bath & Beyond a few years ago. While building their business, these co-founders noticed a trend among the working women they knew. Many of their successful peers had paired up to get the job done, whether it was pooling their talents to launch a startup or developing informal work partnerships in corporate offices. Having someone to support you leads to more productivity and a better, more encouraging work environment overall, especially in startups and companies where long hours and around-the-clock commitment to the job are expected. Work marriage is just more than about business. It's about being there for the whole person. Not only do you have someone's back when it comes to a big presentation or a tense negotiation, but you also step up for them when they need support more broadly, and they do the same for you. At its root, there's love, this article says, but it doesn't spend a whole lot of time talking about how that can be a downside. So we talk so much about success in the workplace and being your own person and being a professional and going out there and getting what you want, but this is saying, hey, maybe you don't have to do it alone. What do you guys think of that?
Yeah.
Well, it goes back to this is, in world and in general, a lot of times people will have working on projects with others and stuff, and they'll think, they get tired of dealing with people, right? Somebody maybe doesn't do their part or doesn't do their part, and they're like, I'm just going to do it all on my own, I don't need anybody else. And the truth of the matter is, in life in general, whether it's being married, whether it's working together with one single project or building an entire business, you're always going to be better off with people, and on your own is going to be a tougher road. Now, you will have struggles unless you learn that your number one focus has to be how to deal and interact with others. But you're going to get a lot more accomplished with that, right? It's just the same thing as being married. When you're married, Jenny and I are able to accomplish a lot more together because we're able to help each other and play off each other's strengths there, right? But we also have struggles with each other that will frustrate each other at times, okay? But guess what? We're committed to each other, which means we're going to work through those and get on the other side of that to become better and stronger with each other. You have to do that same thing in work life. You have to be committed to those projects or to whatever it is you're doing and going, guess what? If we have misunderstandings and we have disagreements, we've got to work through them. We can't just cast them aside. I mean, nowadays, I think the next big thing is going to be therapists for co-founders and for partners in businesses because that's a lot of things that's going on. Realizing yes, and I think that makes total sense. Because there's times you're all going to be frustrated because you're usually two different types of people that have two different types of strengths, which means it's going to be difficult to understand and grasp each other. But you're going to get 10 times more accomplished if you partner with that than trying to go, you know what, just screw it, I'm going to do it on my own.
So what I'm hearing you say is that a good partnership is people with two different skill sets, but then the challenge can be that with those two different skill sets, it's two different types of personalities, and they may not... it's like an Apple computer talking to a
PC.
Toshiba.
Yeah.
Christine's mom sent us a group text the other day because she sends us little memes and stuff. It's adorable. And
I love that.
Yeah, she sent this little thing about marriage because of course we're engaged. And she said, marriage is like having a marathon sleepover with your favorite weirdo friend.
Yeah.
And I love
so
that.
cute.
Yeah. And when we're talking about work spouses, I feel like in a lot of ways that can apply. Like, it's not easy to find somebody out there that you just seem to click with, that like you get each other and you bounce off each other. It's why sports teams are so big on chemistry and like having their power team out and their A string. Like, that's why you've got to struggle to find those things. So when you're looking for somebody you're working on with a project and you're thinking, hey, maybe we can continue this method of practice, of work, to other things, maybe we can keep that going. Like, on the one hand, I want to say tread lightly, because you got to be your own professional, and just like they do, and we live in a world where we're not necessarily built for partnerships in the workplace, down at the bottom. Up at the top, CEOs, co-founders, totally. But at the same time, like, you should appreciate it when you find it. When you find somebody that you really get, that you work well with, like, you should, hang on with that for
but
a
what
minute.
I'm saying is
I think so too, Zach.
But here's what I'm saying too, though, is some of the biggest and hardest times for people to understand each other are some of the best partnerships.
That is true.
So it's like it's not as much of, I believe, is appreciate as much as put the work in to get that other person to work their relationship. Think about the Beatles. Think about if McCartney and Lennon, John Lennon, and them could have like actually figured out how to get along for longer. Like they almost like were at neck to neck fighting with each other.
Sure.
And created some of the greatest, songs and albums of all time, right?
Oh, yeah.
But they couldn't keep that going. So what if they would have had somebody working, and they had a focus on working together with their partnership, and could have worked for the next 30 years, how much even bigger and better it could have been. You think about back in the day, the Kobe and Shaq, in to use some basketball stuff, right? They won lots of championships with each other, but they just couldn't keep it together and work with each other because they were so completely opposite. But because they were so completely opposite, it worked so well they won championships, right?
Right.
Same thing with McCartney and Lennon and them. So sometimes it's the focus on working on that relationship to find the middle ground to stay together because you can do great things versus the other in
so
work life.
So how do you do that? I mean, how do you keep that relationship going because it's something great? I mean, what if you feel like you're the person who's always giving?
I believe that having a therapist and some type of thing like that and going to that is just like that is working to build that relationship, right?
So
and
you don't do that in the work world, do you?
Well, I don't have like if I was going to be a partner of some sort, of starting something with somebody from the ground up like a Lennon, or if I was in a Kobe Shaq type setup, then I probably would. I absolutely now realizing how big and important that is.
Figure out how to cope with that relationship.
Right. I wonder if there is a service for that right now where it's a specific sort of like co-founder type counseling or something like that, because I really think that's a smart way to go about it. And I think about things throughout my career that might have been salvaged had anybody intervened.
Well, I have.
You know what I mean?
But I have that. Like I have Kathleen, KDJ Consulting, does monthly leadership stuff with me that helps me talk through with some of those things that they're going through. But it's just
you're not with a partner.
Yeah, correct. Right now, because I don't have it's not like I have a partner that I'm doing it with. But I mean, I think there are the coaching type of people and things. My cousin Miranda Kirk, she does coaching, and it's around some of those tests that we've talked about in the past, right? That I think are some of those things that can help it. But I think you have to invest that time to help understand, because some of the best partnerships are some of the most opposite people, which means it's the Kobe and Shaq, the Lennon McCartney. They're like beautiful together, but man, keeping it together without killing each other's hard.
There's a reason the like buddy cop format in television and film like works so well. It's because in some way it's believable. We all struggle with that, like to connect with somebody who's just like, you just don't get it. And I appreciate that perspective. You're right. I'm over here like being the optimist. Man, you just find that person, you hang on to them forever. You're like, no, it doesn't have to be that way. Yeah,
you need to get therapy.
You can work with anybody if you really like can communicate and listen and like respect that. I'm into that.
We had I had one co-anchor where we were coming from two very different backgrounds. I think I had the smart manager, and they sent us to do it wasn't counseling, but it was coaching with the two of us to kind of get to know each other. And and as we learned over the years, we were very different people. And I do think that on the front end helped us to extend our co-anchor relationship much further than it would have been if we had just been thrown together and do this show.
Yeah.
And I think we could have benefited. I think towards the end we could have benefited from some help on the back end too, and it could have maybe made that relationship go even be more sustainable. You know what I mean?
And was that coaching? Was that like those Enneagram tests and stuff y'all did?
We did ENFJ, and he and I were opposite on that one. And then what we did was there was a coach who actually was in Dallas, but we lived in Arizona at the time, but we were sent to this coach. And so she talked about, so he has these traits, you have these traits. And she talked about why it was great that we were both opposite and how to kind of work with each other on that. Yeah. And I do think that if we would have gone deeper on that, we could have learned even more. Like I said,
or a follow-up, maybe like every 2 months follow-up.
Up with that, I think that would have been really
impactful.
Yeah, I think it would have been really impactful.
And I think that's the type of stuff that can help people with work relationships that I think companies should invest in for their employees more often than not, for sure, because I think those are just as important as anything. So we've got a lot of cool reviews coming up on this third segment of Second Shot that we'll get to.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Heath and Jenny still to come.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com. Audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
There's nothing more that I love than to see a bunch of new ratings and reviews and stuff. And we, Jenny posted a couple weeks ago, my mom and dad were up on Saturday and playing with Brighton and hanging out and stuff, and she shot like a video of me showing my dad how to actually leave a rating and review and share it and stuff. And then we had some interesting come up with a fan of ours that he told us about.
Yes, you guys. Have you been to the Second Shot podcast Instagram page? If you have met Joyce Yowell. She is 90 years old and a Second Shot podcast listener. And can I point out that at 90, I would be impressed her finding it on YouTube. But no. She found the podcast app, and she pulls it up. She is subscribed. She's an avid listener. And so we got this super cute picture of her. She's very, very chic, actually. She's super cute and has a beautiful smile. And she has her Second Shot shirt. She took the picture at church. Shout out to the Gospel Barn in Troop, Texas, for that photo where Heath's dad is a pastor.
But how is that how she found out about the show?
Yeah. So I thought it was interesting because I'm sure Zach and Matt, as podcast producers, I'm sure you run into this all the time. People who are like, how do you find a podcast? Where is that? What? Or do your friends already know how to listen to podcasts?
No, it's our cross to bear. I can't speak for Matt, but yeah, podcasting is still one of those things that just kind of hard to figure out, but I promise it's not that tough.
I'm always amazed at, people who, obviously I've explained it to my mom about 14 times on how to find things. And she still, I talked to her the other day and she's like, it's showing up on my iPad now. I said, yeah, it's because you're signed in. I am also amazed at people my age. My wife, I had to walk her through how to do it because if you've never listened to podcasts before, you've had no reason to interact with that side of iTunes or Google. So yeah, a lot of people just don't know how to do it.
I've been podcasting professionally for 4 years, unprofessionally for like 5 or 6. But
it's all unprofessional.
Thank you. Just recently, over spring break, my parents drove up to Michigan and back because they always do because their family's all up there. It's like 18 hours. It's like 22 hours in a car, I think.
Oh.
And they always get audiobooks, and I did that every summer for 18 years. I am a weird guy.
No, you're just a
not a very patient
tourist.
person. I should be. Yes, it's true. I can sit in the car for a long time, but they always get audiobooks. And this year, after talking to me about it, and we drove to Colorado in December to visit my sister. All they did the whole way was listen to podcasts. The whole way, they were like 22 hours of free podcast content. It's crazy, and I was like, see. 4 years ago when I started this job, you guys were like, what do you do? So it's like the radio, but it's on the internet. What does that mean? And now you're starting to see, like, this is something
You guys, this
viable.
is the
and
future.
Joyce is so cool for it. Man, I can't believe it. That's so
Joyce
rad.
is the future, and if Joyce can do it, then everybody else can do it. And we've had a ton. Somehow the shaming does work on this show because we got, I just posted on our Instagram page, too, all of the people who had posted social media messages.
Yes.
So one of them from Miranda Kirk Coaching. So shout out to her business as well. Another one from, let's see, who was, Vanessa Richards, and then Leanne Welk. I just set up Google Home in my office to listen to your podcasts. And Vanessa said, if you need a good podcast, subscribe and add this one to your list. So uplifting and easy listening and awesome power couple. So thank you for that. We just hung out with her in Australia, by the way. She is a really, really, really cool woman.
Yeah.
And then DJ Wall Mix wrote in and said,
DJ Wallmix.
I don't know if that's how you say it, but that's how I say it in my head.
I'm into it. Yeah,
when
that's
I
not
see
how
it
you
on
say
Twitter.
it. Watch out, Wallmix.
He says, I'm playing catch up. I caught 99 today. Awesome and inspirational. You both are on fire with these podcasts. Keep killing it. So thank you, Wally.
Yeah.
Oh, and then another one, 13-hour day, 693 miles listening to Jenny and Chondo on Second Shot Podcast. Lots of good content. If you're spending a lot of time behind the windshield, you should listen. That was by a business in the Dallas-Fort Worth area called Tint My Glass.
Ooh. Yeah, I think they're up in the north part of the Metroplex as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, and we have some of the others, because when you leave us a review on iTunes, that it helps it move up through, or wherever you listen, as long as you leave a rating and review.
Yeah. It helps a lot, though, guys. Podcasts are free, and so are ratings. So do us a solid. Leave one. So
we had a couple new reviews. One was from MK Coaching, which is, I believe it's my cousin. You go to MirandaKirk.com. She does coaching.
Your cousins are coming in strong, really.
Yeah. Love a family show.
Love my family. And go to MirandaKirk.com. She does coaching and stuff, actually kind of stuff that we talked about on the last episode, so it'd be worth go checking out on Facebook and all that. But she gave it a 5-star. Said, I love listening to Second Shot. I love the different perspectives that Heath and Jenny offer. And I also love how they have an appreciation and open mind for different perspectives than their own. This podcast has it all: educating, entertaining, funny, and thought-provoking. Whoop, whoop. Love it.
Wow.
Thank you.
Aww.
Another one by Crazy Angel. I love this podcast. I listened to it when I'm at the gym, and I'm sick of the gym mix from the 80s. I also,
how could you be sick of that?
Yeah. I also listen to it while I'm driving to my son's baseball games and walk the dogs. It's so refreshing and uplifting. I always listen when I walk Charlie, too. And I love Jenny and Heath both, and I have laughed out loud at Heath's Heathisms. Keep up the good work, guys. I look forward to listening every day. Thank you. And then you can also come in, if you want to, like Stephen Wadeo, Wadeo.
That sounds like that's your dad, but with a speech impediment. Because this is Dad Stephen Wadeo.
No, I think that actually is him. Actually, now that I see it, that's what I think I taught him to do it. That's how funny.
I knew it.
Man, that may or may not be him.
Really been enjoing this. You know, my dad
that's
man
right.
of many words.
So that was when I taught your dad how to rate and review the podcast.
Okay.
Nice.
Did he at least leave it a 5-star review?
He was thinking about doing a 4, but I think he did a 5.
There you go. To keep it honest. Very honest.
Very big of him.
Yeah.
The next one, the topic is Loving and Hating Your Job by JLM Racing. I felt Zach had great points about understanding that you need to do what is best for you, good or bad, if you do or don't love your job. Not all of us have the luxury of being able to be in the profession we would love to be in. There are sacrifices that people make to provide a better life for our families. I love listening to the show and getting a broader perspective, even in my own life, for situations I feel I'm going through. couldn't agree more with you.
Oh, I agree. And really, like, if you get out there on the social media culture, you see that everyone is loving their job and they're these boss babes and they're killing it. And some of them really are. But also, you know, like, work is work. So don't feel bad about yourself if you're like, man, this kind of is hard to get up at 6 every morning and go to work. And do I not love my job as much as the next person? Well, sometimes work is work, and you're trying to support your family.
You love what your work provides for you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's riding dirt bikes afterwards. Maybe it's racing. Maybe whatever, you know, and that's okay. That's great. Don't you think?
Right. Yeah. Have your interest and love that. Thanks, JLM Racing. Shout out, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
That's
very
so sweet.
cool.
Yeah.
So we had an email too.
Oh.
And this from Jacqueline Dort, which is a friend of mine in Jacksonville. When I moved out to Jacksonville,
Heath is like getting so many family and friends in on this.
Yeah. This is Jacqueline. She's from Jacksonville, Florida, where I lived. Like right when we moved into our little the first spot, she was like right across and just moved there too. So like we all became good friends.
Oh, how cool!
And she wrote in an email. She said about the professional cuddler episode. Remember the cuddling episode?
Right.
Yes.
So she must be binge listening.
Yeah.
Because that was a
Going
while back.
For anybody playing at home, the woman in Kansas who was paid to be a professional cuddler and just go hang out with people and hang out on their couch and cuddle for hours.
Cuddle, yeah.
It's a gig. Why not?
And again, it's secondshotcast@gmail.com if you want to send us an email. But she said, hey, Heath, Jenny, and crew, I was just catching on the podcast, episode 102, about the cuddle lady. There is a movie y'all should watch. It's weird but interesting. It's called Temple Grandin. It is a true story about an autistic woman in her life. Autistic people tend to struggle with social and physical interactions. There is a section of the movie where she actually creates a device for herself that emulates a hug without the physical contact. I think she writes a thesis paper in college on it. I hope all is well with you. I miss the Texas boys because we were from Texas when we were there. I hope you and Jenny make it back to Jack's, and when you do, give me a call so I can get to meet her. Thanks, Jacqueline.
Oh, we should. That would be a fun little weekend trip.
Well, and I think that's interesting because when we talked about it on that episode, yeah, we thought it was funny she started a cuddling business, but you also brought up points about how people need love.
Yes, and physical connection. And I also like her bringing this up too, because here's the whole thing. Like we're constantly, you know, we hear something, we give an immediate judgment or a laughter or something like that. But the whole point of this is to get a greater understanding of the world around us, and I think that's a really interesting point. I didn't know that specifically.
Yeah.
About she said it was for people with autism.
Yeah.
Children,
and,
adults.
Said it's a movie. It's called Temple Grandin.
Temple Grandin.
It's a true story about an autistic woman in her life, and she created something that emulates a hug, without the actual physical contact.
Oh, that's really interesting. I didn't know about that. I'm curious to see that movie.
Yeah, that's just interesting too. It's just how much there is when people have to create things to kind of emulate it because there's not enough people out there willing to really give hugs and love. You know.
In that perspective, it's so easy nowadays to see a headline like "Kansas woman makes money cuddling people for a living" and immediately throw a judgment on it, be like, "Wow, that's loony," and then move on. And you just forget that perspective,
Absolutely.
right? That perspective that there are other people with other feelings. Every person has a body. Every body has its aches, and that's important.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for writing in.
As you guys remember, any Second Shot Facebook group, we're hanging out there all the time. The secondshotcast@gmail.com. We also are loving the shares and.
Thank you guys for the love on social media.
Yeah, it's been huge.
Cool.
It's been a lot. Like they've been giving in to you. You've been shaming them on that.
And I want to do a giveaway.
Ooh.
I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just going to think about that for the next couple weeks.
That doesn't come lightly on this show. We got rabid fans for giveaways. I love it.
I want to do a giveaway. I just feel like
giveaway.
that's just what I want to do.
Look, Joyce got it because she's 90 listening to the podcast.
That's true.
And I've got
so
25-year-olds that complain about trying to find it, so Joyce gets the win.
Yeah, Joyce got the giveaway this time, but we'll do some sort of other giveaway in the next couple of weeks. Here.
Leave us a rating, review, and continue to share with your friends. Where can they get you at?
JennyAnchondo.com, Instagram, Jenny Anchondo, and same with Facebook, Twitter, Jenny Anchondo TV, and I'll see you guys hanging out in the Facebook group.
I'm at AppleZacintosh on Twitter and Instagram, and I'm bad at Instagram, so throw me a message or something. I'll get that little notification. Maybe that'll get me to open the app and actually try using it for a change. Facebook.com/group/secondshot. Join the conversation. Come hang out. We'll see you over there.
You can find me at Matt Stoker1 on Instagram. Don't miss the great content over there.
That was
all the
he
puppies.
was so energetic there.
Always.
Ed Heathos say Ignorance on Fire on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. I love y'all. Until next time, see you again.